Welcome to Gooseberry's Science and Education videos. All right, today we're diving into Colin Towell's awesome guide, the Survival Handbook. Seriously, this thing is packed with skills that are must-haves for anyone who loves the outdoors. I mean, whether you're just going for a day hike or you're leading a full-on expedition, there's something in here for you. Right on the cover, this book makes a huge claim. It says it could literally save your life. That's not just a suggestion, right? That's a promise that what's inside is more than just handy tips. It's potentially life or death stuff. Kind of makes you sit up and pay attention, huh? So that gets you thinking, right? If you could only pull one lesson from this entire handbook, what would be the most important one? Would it be, how to build a fire from scratch? Or find a clean water source? Maybe navigate using the stars? Well, let's dig in and find out. Okay, first things first. Before we even talk about gear or skills, we've got to talk about mindset. Because the first big takeaway from this book completely flips the script on what most people think survival is all about. It's not just about having the coolest gadgets. So, let me ask you this. What do you think is the single most important piece of survival equipment you could possibly have with you? Think about it. Is it a fancy multi-tool? A top-of-the-line fire starter? Maybe a sat phone? The answer? Well, it might not be what you expect, because the most important tool is the one you always have with you. It's not a knife, it's your mind. Yep, your brain. Your mental game, that will to survive, that's what truly decides whether you make it or not. And check this out. This is how the author, who's a super experienced survival instructor, breaks it all down. He says there are really just 4 things that lead to a good outcome. Knowledge and ability, those are things you can learn and practice, right? Then there's the will to survive, which is just that deep down drive. And finally, there's luck. You can't control luck, but man, you can sure stack the deck in your favor with the other 3. And this quote right here, it's the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Think of survival as a game of energy management. Every single thing you do, building a shelter, looking for food, it all costs energy. If you waste it, you're wasting your chances of getting home. The bottom line is simple. You have to work smarter, not harder. Okay, so if your mindset is the engine, then what's the fuel? Well, that's what we're talking about next, preparation. And this is all the stuff that happens before your boots even hit the dirt. And this is such a key point. Survival situations almost never just pop up out of nowhere. Usually they're the final step in a long chain of small, preventable mistakes. Things like ignoring that gut feeling, getting a little too cocky, or just not respecting how powerful nature can be. So what does good preparation actually look like? The book gives us 3 big steps. 1, get physically fit. Know your limits before you go out there. 2, prepare yourself mentally. Acknowledge that you're going to feel fear or stress and actually think through how you'll handle it. And number 3, and this is so important, create an emergency plan. Just let someone know where you're going and when you expect to be back. It's so simple, but it's a critical lifeline. The military has a great saying for this that fits perfectly. The 6 Ps. Prior planning and preparation prevents poor performance. It's such a great little thing to remember. All that work you do beforehand, planning the route, checking the weather, double-checking your gear, that's what stops a small hiccup from turning into a full-blown catastrophe. And here's a look at what one of those plans actually is. It's called an Emergency Plan of Action, or an EPA. It's basically just a piece of paper you leave with someone you trust, but it's your lifeline. It tells rescuers exactly where to start looking for you, your route, your schedule, everything. A simple thing like this can literally cut days off a search, and that can make all the difference. All right, so you've got the right mindset, you've done all your prep work, but what happens when things go sideways anyway? Because sometimes they just do. Well, this is where the book gives us this incredibly powerful framework, one that's been tested by the military to help you make the right calls when you're under insane amounts of pressure. Think of this as your emergency checklist for your brain. When everything hits the fan and your mind is racing, this system is what cuts through the noise. It tells you exactly what to do first, second, third. It's all about bringing order to the chaos. And here it is, the 4 survival pillars. And the order here is everything. Look at number 1, protection. That means getting out of the elements, the sun, the rain, the cold, right away. Shelter comes first. Then you think about location. How can you help rescuers find you? After that, it's water. And notice what's last? Food. This is huge because so many people get this completely backward. They start looking for food and waste all their energy when they should have been building a simple shelter. And why is water so much higher up the list than food? Well, this number tells the whole story. In less than a single day,
less than 24 hours. Without water, your brain just stops working right. Your ability to think, to make good decisions, it just plummets. Dehydration is fast, and it is serious, and it will take you out of the game way, way before hunger even becomes an issue.
So we've talked about mindset, we've talked about preparation, and we've got our priorities straight. But after all is said and done, after all the lessons on tying knots and building shelters, the author saves the most important lesson for last. And it's a big one. And here we have it. This is the single most important piece of advice in the whole book. The best survival skill isn't being able to start a fire with 2 sticks. It's having the wisdom to avoid a situation where you need to start a fire with 2 sticks in the first place. What this all boils down to is that real skill, real expertise is all about prevention. It's about being smart enough to check the weather before you go, having the humility to know that nature is in charge, and, having the courage to say, nope, this isn't right, and turning back. That right there is what being a true survivor is all about. So knowing all this really makes you think, doesn't it? For your next trip, your next adventure, what are you going to do differently? It's not just about what's in your backpack, but about the choices you make before you even lock your front door. I hope that was a helpful deep dive for you. And hey, if you enjoyed the content, please do like and subscribe. We are already working on a new topic, and we can't wait to share it with you.